Coming up on Good Morning Longhorns, war in Israel after Hamas killed hundreds of civilians, how the UT community is reacting.
The West Campus ambassadors are working to make the area students call home safer. A look inside the new program.
Plus, Austin City Limits takes over the live music capital of the world. A big preview of the weekend.
Combating loneliness on campus. Hear from students and experts about this experience. All this and more right now on Good Morning Longhorns.
Good Morning Longhorns for Wednesday, October 11th. I'm Ella Danina.
And I'm Paisley Porter. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday morning.
How are you doing this week, Paisley?
I'm pretty okay getting through midterms. How about you?
Pretty good. It hasn't been too bad this week. Well, let's get into this morning's top stories. Just after sunrise Saturday, a militant group called Hamas launched a surprise attack against Israel on the 50th anniversary of the 1973 Yom Kippur War. Videos show Hamas taking over 100 Israeli soldiers and citizens hostage across the Gaza border. The death toll in Israel has reached more than 900 people, with another 2,500 injured. President Biden said in a statement yesterday that at least 14 Americans have been declared dead, with 20 more unaccounted for. Biden has confirmed that more Americans are currently being held hostage. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, Israeli strikes have killed 560 people in Gaza and injured 2,900. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and President Joe Biden have condemned the Hamas attack and said the U.S. will, quote, make sure Israel has what it needs to defend itself.
The UT community came together to remember the fallen individuals in Israel on Monday evening. UT students Ben Sherman and Reeve Pazell helped organize the vigil, where over 600 UT students gathered in the south wall of the tower to commemorate the lives lost in Israel and pray for peace in this time of tragedy. There were student speakers, presentations, and prayers led by Rabbi Zev Johnson and his wife Aurelia Johnson from UT's Royal Chabad Center. UT Austin police were in attendance, making sure that the event remained safe and secure as our Longhorn community rallied in solidarity.
Texas lawmakers returned to the Capitol this Monday to meet for the third special session called by Governor Greg Abbott. The biggest priority for the session is school choice, which has drawn criticism from both rural Republicans and Democrats. Legislators are also discussing redistricting, election integrity, and border security. The session is expected to be contentious, with lawmakers from both parties divided on many of these issues. Democrats have criticized the governor's call for election integrity measures, saying it could suppress voter turnout. Meanwhile, Republicans are pushing for stronger border security measures. It remains to be seen how much progress will be made during this special session, but we will be following the developments throughout the upcoming weeks.
The recently launched West Campus Ambassadors program is part of the $8 million plan to improve safety in West Campus. The plan was approved by the UT Board of Regents in 2020. TSTV reporter Angela Santos took a closer look.
The West Campus community saw a recent change with UT's launch of the Ambassador Program as a safety and cleaning initiative. The West Campus Ambassador Program is facilitated by Block by Block, a group that aims to improve urban areas through varying methods.
Our goal is to maintain the safe atmosphere in West Campus, as well as cleaning.
From 7:30 a.m. through 3:30 p.m., cleaning ambassadors focus on daily cleaning services.
We do graffiti removal, we do trash removal, we remove stickers, we do painting, pretty much anything to make it more beautiful.
I do notice less trash around West Campus, especially after football games. I feel like there'd always be cans and beer just everywhere, and I don't see that anymore.
From 3:30 p.m. to 3 a.m., safety ambassadors provide resident escorts and monitor the area.
The unhoused population, it's a big issue around here, especially downtown and surrounding areas, and that's a big reason we're here.
And I see these rocks being thrown, and I look, and there's this unhoused woman just grabbing the giant rocks in front of Kirby Lane and just chucking them at everyone here. Came to us and told us that he's a West Campus ambassador, and he's here to they're here to not only clean up West Campus, but to protect us, and that he'll wait till like the bus comes to make sure that lady doesn't get on. Because she did proceed to also throw, when the bus came, throw the Rapolo's stools at the bus.
As of now, the Ambassador program is still growing and aims to expand in the future and connect with the community.
I love it. I can do interact with different people from all walks of life, from 18-year-olds to 64-year-olds. Don't matter. As long as everybody's nice, I'm fine.
With Texas News Primetime, this is Angela Santos.
Texas lost their first game of the season this past Saturday at the Cotton Bowl Stadium, marking the final Red River rivalry with Texas as a part of the Big 12. The Longhorns' 5-0 winning streak ended after they endured a tough loss of 34-30. The Oklahoma defense came out strong and the Longhorn offense was unable to break through. The Texas defense was also not as strong as it usually is, with offensive lineman Jake Majors suffering an injury in the first quarter. Quarterback Quinn Ewers had 3 turnovers, including 2 interceptions, and this led to runs ending a little bit too quickly. Texas continuously had issues breaking into the end zone, with Xavier Worthy falling 1 yard short in the fourth quarter. Texas was unable to tie up the game, and this kept them trailing the Sooners. Later in the fourth, Texas was up by 3 but left too much time on the clock, and Oklahoma wide receiver Nick Anderson caught the game-winning touchdown. Texas' conference record is now 2-1 leading into their bye week. The next game for the Horns is October 21st against the University of Houston. Paisley, I was in Dallas at the fair this weekend. What'd you make of this unfortunate loss?
I didn't watch the game, but I heard the news, and I was rather upset that we lost our winning streak, but I am excited to see what's to come next football season with joining the SEC.
I know, we'll see. Hopefully we can win next year.
Oh, I really hope so. ACL Festival is back in Austin, and so are the events and deals surrounding it. Our reporter Jasmine Palacios visited the 2nd Street Block Party to kick off ACL Weekend 1. Let's take a look.
Downtown Austin's first annual 2nd Street Block Party happened on Thursday to celebrate the first weekend of ACL.
This block party featured 20% off participating stores such as Stella Dallas and Sunglass Hut. This special deal event also featured Joe's Coffee, DJ sets, and fun community all around 2nd Street. This is not just a spot to find ACL fashion, but also to find what to wear during your next Texas Longhorn game day. Other stores like Hemline are participating in the block party fun.
My name's Emma. I'm the store manager here at Hemline Austin. My favorite part about today is the community coming out, all the music, the vibe is great. Come see us next Thursday.
Like Emma said, this block party will be back this Thursday from 3 to 7 p.m. on 2nd Street. I'm Jasmine Palacios with TSTV News.
ACL continues this weekend in Zilker, and the anticipation is rising. Students are back from OU weekend and ready to jam out to new performers like the 1975 and artists that are returning like Kendrick Lamar, Hozier, Foo Fighters, and the Lumineers. I know I'll be in attendance this weekend. How about you, Ella?
I unfortunately won't be, but I'm going to try to go next year. It's really expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get myself to spend that much money.
I get that. I think it's the Costco of concerts, and there were a lot of people on the lineup that I really love,
so it's worth it.
I made it work it.
Coming up, Coco Kennedy joins us with your updated weather forecast, plus our exclusive interview with Jenna Bush Hager. Stay tuned for more Good Morning Longhorns after the break.
Welcome back to Good Morning Longhorns. Let's take a look at the weather. Joining us on set is Coco Kennedy. What's the weather looking like, Coco?
Thanks, Paisley. Austin is in for a cooler week of weather just in time for fall. It is currently 66 degrees and cloudy with a 90% chance of rain within the next few hours. We're expecting a high of 81 with a low of 65 earlier in the week. Later in the week, we're seeing cloudy skies with highs around 88 and lows of 65. Moving on to the weekend, we're seeing a shift with sunny skies starting on Friday with our highest temp being about 92. But don't worry, that he's expected to cool down for the rest of the weekend with highs of 80 and low temps of about 53, perfect for weekend 2 of Austin City Limits. As we start to see a decrease in heat, fall around UT is brewing. Be sure to check your weather forecast for updates throughout the week, especially if you're headed out to Zilker for the festival. But for now, I'm Coco Kennedy in the Weather Center, and now over to a break.
In honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation is hosting a More Than Pink walk on October 29th at Barton Creek Square. Teams and individuals raise money throughout October to donate to breast cancer research. From October 23rd to the 29th, the organization will be hosting events leading up to the walk. The event starts at 7:30 a.m. and the walk will begin at 9 a.m. So go out and support or register to walk on the Susan G. Komen website.
A Longhorn, first daughter, Today Show host, and author, no one can claim all of these titles except for Jenna Bush Hager, who graciously joined our very own Paulina Pearson, Itza Martinez, Logan Dubel, and Gracie Kirshner to discuss her new children's book, her time here on the 40 acres, and important advice. Take a look.
Good Morning Longhorns had the chance to have an exclusive sit-down interview with Jenna Bush Hager, co-host of Today with Hoda and Jenna. Jenna graduated from the University of Texas in 2004 with a Bachelor's of English. She's making her way back down to Texas with her twin sister Barbara as they embark on yet another book tour together to celebrate their children's book Love Comes First. Itza Martinez, senior life and arts reporter, had the honor to work with Jenna this summer as a Today Show broadcast intern. We are so excited to learn from Jenna about her path from the 40 acres to the Big Apple. Take a look.
So your book, Sisters First, was like a New York Times bestseller. What kind of like inspired you to write like Love Comes First?
Well, this is the fourth book I have written with my sister. I have a twin. And growing up, I think we realized how empowered we were to have each other because each of us made the other one feel brave, made us feel like we could do anything. We wrote Sisters First as an ode to each other. And since we wrote that book, I've had a baby boy, my sister had a baby. And I think what we've realized is that love in its purest form is infinite, that there's always more room for our neighbors, for our family, for our friends. And so that was the inspiration for this latest one. And we're so excited because we're coming to Texas. Back home. I think it's important to hear what readers have to say. And all of the previous book tours actually really help us inform what we're going to write next, which we feel so grateful for.
I did have one more question. What's like your all-time like favorite book, if you could think of one?
Oh my gosh, my all-time favorite book is probably The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. And it's just such a powerful, beautiful narrative. And it was the first book that really, I think, opened my eyes to show how literature can create empathy.
Especially in my generation, you know, everybody that I'm going to school with now, I know that we're all like focused on the future. Oh, what internship am I going to be having next summer? What's my next job? What's my next move? And, you know, we're often not thinking about the present. And so, you know, we forget that college sometimes only happens once in our lives. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your core memories here at Austin that still replay, you know, years later?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's such a good point. You know, it's such a short time, but it's such an impactful time. And if you talk to anybody that, you know, has been to college, they're like, savor it, because there's a freedom that comes to, you know, that point in your life where you don't need to decide exactly what it is you want to be. You know, you just should study and figure out who you are. Those 4 years were so impactful for me. I made my best friends who I still talk to almost every single day. Last year, I was in Texas and I walked past the house I rented with some of my best friends my senior year. And I just couldn't believe that it was a place that had such an impact on me, but I hadn't been back there in, you know, 20 years. And the one piece of advice that my mom gave me, which I definitely did my junior and senior year, and it sounds harder than it is, but find out who the best professors are. Find out what the class is that everybody says, oh my gosh, that's the hardest class. That teacher wrote the book. That teacher is one of the best in the country on that subject matter. I don't care what it is, and try to get into that class. Texas has such incredible professors and with such a wealth of information.
Speaking of morning shows, you obviously know plenty about that, and so much of what the whole Today Show franchise, but especially the fourth hour when you come on with Hoda, people turn on your show for some of the brighter topics, things to inspire them, and just great stories. Obviously, there's so much negativity everywhere, all across the media and on TV, but your show brings something different to the table. Why do you feel like it's so important to do what you all do every single morning?
Oh my gosh, Logan, you're the sweetest. I think, it's so funny because when I first started hosting with Hoda, which is now 4.5 years ago, when I would travel with my sister who started a non-for-profit that does incredible work around the world, I would, in the sort of mission to be self-deprecating, I would say to people like, oh, Barbara does the important work and I just get to like sit next to Hoda and laugh. But then what I've realized is, especially after the pandemic, there are people that tune in to us in their loneliest moments and times when they're going through really hard things, and they look to us to bring that joy. And so I've stopped saying that because people will come up and say, like, you got me through chemo. My mom was sick and I was taking care of her, and you were my one sort of respite. And so, yeah, I mean, I just think, and we can choose to do this, all of us in our daily lives. We can choose to spread negativity and hate, or we can choose to spread joy and love. And I'm so proud that I'm part of a show that does that every single day. We do not take it lightly. It's an incredible privilege to be part of that. And so I no longer kind of make those jokes about myself because it is such an honor to be part of everybody's morning in a joyful way.
Was it hard to create your own identity kind of in the shadows of obviously your father and your grandfather? And do you feel like that's had an impact on your career as a journalist?
It wasn't hard to create my own identity because my parents didn't expect me to be anything but myself. I mean, the world might have, but my parents didn't. And I think we really are affected by those who love us the most closely, the people that interact with us every day. And so by having parents that allowed Barbara and I to be exactly who we are, didn't compare us to each other or to other kids of public figures, they also didn't expect us to believe the same things as them, to go into the same line of work as them. I mean, so therefore I was free to be myself. The other thing that was really impactful was they allowed me to make mistakes. And I feel like that's super important. You know, you've got to be able to fall down and get back up, because for the rest of your life, that's going to happen. Nobody is perfect. So to be expected to be that way, especially when you're 18 or 19 years old, I think could have been really damaging. So I'm so grateful. One of the things that was amazing is that when my parents were, president and my mom was first lady, we got to travel around the world. We got to go to Africa and witness the unveiling of PEPFAR. We got to go travel this country. We got to meet thought leaders like Bono and Wendy Kopp, people that were really changing the world. And so I think it's really hard to have kind of a small thought of how incredible the world is when you get to do that at such an impressionable age. Hi guys, I'm Jenna Bush-Haker and I'm watching Good Morning Longhorns. Hook 'em.
Amazing.
Coming up, all things entertainment, as Beyonce and Taylor Swift take their record-breaking concerts to theaters, and how students are combating loneliness on campus. We'll be back with more Good Morning Longhorns after the break.
Welcome back to Good Morning Longhorns.
It's the year of Barbie, and the queen of rock and roll is getting it on in this action. Stevie Nicks, the Fleetwood Mac frontwoman, announced the release of her own Barbie to a sold-out crowd at Madison Square Garden in New York City. She said Mattel reached out to her about making the doll last year, and ever since receiving the finished product in June, she's fallen in love with Stevie Barbie. The 75-year-old rocker said the doll is modeled after her iconic mystical black outfit from the Rumors album. She even gifted the first of the Barbies to an audience member, who was ironically named Sarah, the name of one of Fleetwood Mac's biggest hits. If you're looking to purchase the collector's doll, it's already sold out for pre-order, but will be available again on November 10th.
As many music lovers know, there are two major films coming out in the upcoming weeks. Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour movie hits theaters this Friday, and Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, hits theaters November 30th. So fans, if you didn't get the the chance to see these leading ladies on tour, here is your opportunity to see them in IMAX. Ella, are you planning on seeing either of these movies? If so, which one are you more excited to see?
I haven't made any plans to see either one yet, but I'm kind of interested in seeing the Taylor Swift one just because I didn't go to her concert, so.
Awesome.
Which ones are you seeing? I know you're seeing Taylor Swift.
Obviously Taylor Swift. I did see her on tour, but I love her so much. And the concert was so magical. It was the best 3 hours of my life, so why not relive it? And it's a great opportunity.
Might as well. When freshmen come to campus for the first time, many feel a sense of loneliness. TSTV news reporter Max Kisner spoke to students and experts about this experience.
Some say that college makes for the best years of one's life. But for new freshmen on campus, that fact can be hard to believe.
It hits you really hard and you're like, oh, this is so different from what home was like. My high school life and my high school experience was, I would say, very balanced. When I first got here at UT, it was like a 0 to 60. But whenever things started to settle down, I think that like gives you more time to think about everything. So I definitely do feel like some traces of loneliness and of missing your family, your, hometown friends. I think all of that starts to set in.
I was intrigued, but I knew I needed an expert's opinion. Are freshmen really that alone?
Well, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about what is loneliness. Loneliness isn't that you're not around other people, right? Loneliness is that you don't feel connected to other people. And so freshmen are certainly not alone, but they can often be lonely. Or in some way, the environment here is really different than what they're used to. They might take a little bit longer.
I'd say that as time has gone on, I definitely have made stronger relationships with them and connections, just because, we've spent more time together. So I think this is interesting because you meet a lot of people the first few weeks, and it slowly like weeds out, and you're left with like a group of people that you genuinely connected with. I'm excited to see how that goes.
And so now would you say the task is taking those individuals and turning it into a community?
Absolutely. I think once you've made those initial relationships, I think it's important to be proactive and like have initiative to actually begin building like a group of friends and a solid community.
For UT Austin, I'm Max Kinzer.
Late last month, the Humanitas Student Wellbeing Collective within the College of Liberal Arts held their biannual Poetry on the Pond event. TSTV reporter Ariba Barmal attended the event and spoke with poets and attendees.
Most people think of Cambodia and they think of war, they think of genocide, they think about the death count. But my poetry, I want it to be more about, happy times with my family.
Poetry on the Pond, hosted by the Humanitas Student Wellbeing Collective within the College of Liberal Arts, brings together students from all over campus for an evening of poetry and community.
We also want to hear students' voices and their poems and, give them a chance to actually communicate their ideas and share their creativity. And we want to give students a chance to kind of stop moving, stop working, stop thinking, and just be present.
20 students from within the College of Liberal Arts, including Vanita S. Cole, read a mixture of original works and works by other poets that they wanted to share.
For a short moment of time, we can get together with friends and strangers and just appreciate art. Right? And that's the beauty of it. Whether it's like poetry bringing us together or a song or a movie, whatever, I think it's just art that's, giving us a sense of peace.
Unum was walking by when she saw the event and decided to join. According to Wilhite, over half of the attendees just walk up to the event.
I've always had a profound interest in poetry. I think it's super relaxing. It brings you back to your own self. So thought I'd stop by, and it was well worth every minute of it.
Unum met Sunshine at the event and was thankful that they were able to sit together and enjoy the experience.
You see the person, and then I feel like you get a little bit of a taste of their soul when they write, and when you listen to the words that they say, it's an incredible experience.
Coming up, a look at what's happening around Austin this week. Plus, we visited with our furry friends at the Austin Humane Society. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Good Morning Longhorns after this. Welcome back to Good Morning Longhorns. On this week's edition of Around Austin, we have weekend 2 of ACL. From Friday to Sunday, you can head to Zilker Park in downtown Austin to see many of your favorite artists. Unfortunately, most of the tickets for the weekend are sold out, but you can still join the waitlist in case people decide to sell theirs. Now that it's October, on a more fall note, Boo at the Zoo will begin this weekend and will continue every Friday and Saturday throughout the month of October. Feel free to show up in a fun costume, enjoy haunted houses, and see your favorite animals. Tickets are available for purchase at austinzoo.org if you're interested. Lastly, Texas OU did not end the way that we wanted it to, but the Horns fought hard until the very end. Be sure to tune in next week to hear about more events.
The Texas State Parks took to their Twitter yesterday to share what's in the sky for us this weekend. Texans can expect an annular eclipse this Saturday, and according to the Texas State Parks website and social media, the moon will cover parts of the sun around 10:20 a.m. and will look a bit smaller than the sun, creating a visual illusion of a ring of fire at approximately 11:41 a.m. along the Texas-New Mexico border.
The display depends on where you are and can last from seconds to 5 minutes. While it is going to be a spectacular sight to see, please take precautions and wear eclipse glasses, not to be mistaken for sunglasses, as viewing the eclipse can be very dangerous to your eyes. Happy viewing!
Last Friday, Austin Humane Society held their monthly adoption fundraiser at Joe's Coffee. Along with our Sophia Kurtz, I was there to see our fuzzy friends.
Hi, this is Paisley Porter and Miss Alanis, and we are here at the puppy party at Joe's Coffee on Red River.
I knew this was happening, and I specifically took time out of my day to come here. I was here at the beginning of last month, and that was kind of like a fun surprise, and I made it a point to come back because I think this is such a great cause, and there's just so much going on here that can benefit the puppies, but the community as well, and it's great to see such a good turnout too.
We are fighting having overcrowding situations in most of the Texas shelters. The Austin Animal Center, the city shelter has been pretty full dog-wise for a while now. So being able to adopt out as many animals as we can is helping us bring in even more. We're very, very lucky that Travis County is no kill, but not everywhere is that lucky. The more animals we adopt out, the more animals we can save and bring back, give a second chance to find a forever home.
So we came and we had a coffee and we played with the puppies, and it was fantastic. I thought it was such a great idea. I think it really brings a lot of exposure to the Humane Society, having people come out and see what they're all about, talk to the people, meet the dogs that are available for adoption, and I really love the cause. And I love a coffee and I love a puppy, so, you know, it kind of all ties together.
That looks like such an awesome event. Would you ever think about adopting?
All of my dogs are rescues. They're all adoptions. I'm very fortunate to have amazing adoption opportunities with my puppies. But this happens every first Friday of the month from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And any coffee or breakfast item that you get, 10% of that sale will go to benefit the Austin Humane Society and help dogs and cats get food and shelter and medicine that they need. So I think it's a really great opportunity, and you can take home a puppy if you decide to adopt.
Well, that's all we have for today. For more Good Morning Longhorns throughout the week, you can follow us on Instagram at Good Morning Longhorns. I'm Ella Danina.
And I'm Paisley Porter. From all of us here at Good Morning Longhorns, have a wonderful Wednesday, and our team will be back with you next week.